Always remember.
Whoa! Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Determined Focus. Hey, you know what today is?
Is this episode 50?
Episode 50, baby.
Very nice.
Yeah, I
wow,
put on
50
my
episodes.
ILM 50.
We are 50 years old.
We are. We can officially. What can you do stuff at 50? When you turn 50, is that when you get like, or is it like 52?
Well, Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil Requiem, which is the new Resident Evil game, is 52, and that guy is moving different. So I think it's pretty good.
Wow. Okay.
Remind me to send you some hype aura moments from Resident Evil Requiem, and you're gonna be like, "Yo, this guy's the coolest guy ever," and he beat Batman. I'm just kidding. He wouldn't beat Batman,
okay,
but
right.
he is pretty much Resident Evil Batman. He's blocking chainsaws with knives. He's doing backflips. He's doing John Wick gun fu. He's got the boy band middle part. He's got big old boulder shoulders. Look at that guy. But
is that what Resident Evil is about?
Resident Evil is crazy, man. Resident Evil is awesome. Don't talk about the movies. I'm talking about the games. Chris Redfield punches a boulder.
I truly, if somebody was like, "What is Resident Evil about?" I don't think I could explain it. I don't.
It's like those memes where people are like, "Yo, what is blank even about?" And it'll just be like something out of context. Like, have you seen? Okay, this is more for the comic book episode, but have you ever watched Black Mirror? Probably doesn't seem like your thing, but have you ever watched it?
The first two. There's 4 seasons, right?
Oh, it's like 7 at this point now.
I feel like I watched like the first 2 or 3 seasons.
Okay. So did you ever watch the episode with Anthony Mackie and the guy who plays Wonder Man? Yeah, like Abdul Mateen III?
Yeah. I know what that episode is. Yeah.
Okay. There was like people are like, "Yo, what is Wonder Man even about?" And it's the clip from that episode when they're like kissing in the rain.
Oh my god.
And they're like, why is Wonder Man and Sam Wilson kissing?
Sam Wilson?
I love that stuff. It's always playing like the doo-doo. Anyway. There you go.
Oh, the Incredibles theme song.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
That's not it either.
That's James Bond, but that was what you thought it was when I sang that one time.
Nope. We should probably check in with chat because we are
half
hour late for this stream.
I'm so sorry. There was something we were prepping. It'll be well worth the discussion. It was because I have been working a lot and did not have a lot of time to plan or prep this segment. So hopefully it's going to load here soon. Maybe. We'll see. Either way.
I just saw the photo you put up on your story to say that we're live.
What, my little Spider-Man on my microphone? He was sitting right here.
Yeah. Well, he's double cheeked up Secret War Spider-Man. Hey, we're gonna get demonetized.
But seriously, happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for being here. Yeah, let's check in with chat. We got Focus 3 held up. We'll catch the next rotation. Good luck on the mission. Wow, Kanan for Rushmore. Is that the rank?
We'll see.
I didn't even know, to be honest, Will has sprung this upon me. So
we'll
see.
It was a semi-secret rank Ferric.
Yeah, I saw that and I went, "Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna figure that one out."
I have a really fun rank Ferric that I am stoked about for the comic book episode.
Okay, I also have not necessarily a rank Ferric, but just a very fun question.
For a comic book or for Star Wars?
It's kind of both.
Okay, then maybe we do it in rank Ferric for this episode.
Okay, I'm down. Because it's a Star Wars and Marvel. Patton Oswalt, pitching in Parks and Rec. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
That's goated, though. Justin, thanks for being here, man. Sam Witwer in live action Star Wars. Maybe. Hopefully.
Maybe.
But we're doing great. Thank you for being here, dude. We got Focus 007.
Hey.
We'll see you soon, buddy. Thank you for being here, or at least being here earlier.
Appreciate you popping in.
We got Limitless Nerd. I think he's back now. It seems to be, eventually. We'll see. We got... I'm not going to pull her up, actually.
Focus 0.
Focus negative. I'm kidding. Shout out Light Force Podcast. They're awesome.
We love you guys, kind of, sort of.
Tentative, conditionally love.
Yep.
Hey, there was nothing wrong with my Wi-Fi. I just suck. Okay.
We were prepping something, but
we got Mumbo Jimbo. What's up, man? Thanks for being here.
That profile picture is crazy.
It's pretty sick. We got General Cameroni, the representative of the Lom Nation himself.
Lom Nation.
It's like... where have we been? We've been here, we're just taking our time.
We've been sitting right here.
Well, we are late. We were prepping. Okay. Macman is here. Focus number 4. Thank you for being here, Macman. Appreciate you. We got Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights.
Hey.
Thank you. He says Luke. By the way, Macman says Luke and Kanan both have to be on Mount Rushmore. We will see.
Maybe.
Let's see. Didn't Sam already have
Sam? Sorry, I clicked on it at the same time.
At the same time. Sam has, but he's been technically done a handful of live action stuff, but it's just been like voices, right? Because he's like the guy who's like, you are Varian Sky in Andor, and like the trooper in Andor, but like in the Mandalorian.
I mean, I would assume the guy does a voice in every single project, so I would not be shocked if he was in the Mandalorian at some point, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, are you thinking of Cameron? Are you thinking of Matt Lanter when he showed up in Mandalorian season 1? When he was the guard on the prison barge.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's what you're thinking of. I don't know. But oh wait, is that the new one?
Yeah, 236, dude.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a Maul exclusive one.
So that's the cover that I like. If you have the subscription,
I see
the cover with Maul, and I think actually it is this image. That's the cover. It's like this.
Oh, that's yeah. That's sick.
But it's just that Maul face on a back black wall. But yeah, we got some Star Wars Insider to talk about this week. We got some Mando Grogu stuff to talk on. We can do that right off the top initially. We got some Rank Ferric this week.
Mm-hmm.
Not really a ton of Star Wars news this week.
Not a ton. We were going to talk a little bit if I can get this stuff to load. My phone has gone into a coma of uploading these pictures, but the Art of the Acolyte book released, and it has some really sick stuff in it. And my phone is just really hesitating to upload it for some reason. So actually, I'm going to click cancel all. And then we're just gonna re-upload those real quick. Why don't you take the reins here while I do this real quickly?
Okay,
we'll hop in some of the fun stuff.
I'm gonna pull up this article.
Perfect.
Let me pull this up. So this is the Screen Rant version of this article that was pulled from Variety. Variety put out an article about here's the headline. Disney execs worried Star Wars fans won't be satisfied by Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And mainly it's because of the the Super Bowl trailer. Kinda.
Yeah.
So this is the Variety quote specifically. According to Variety, there are concerns that an unconventional 36-second Super Bowl spot for the Mandalorian and Grogu that featured the title characters riding a wagon pulled by tauntauns failed to generate the kind of excitement the marketing team was hoping to spark. Yeah. Which I wonder if I can pull up just the Variety article specifically. But I think just from that sentence, if that was a agree or disagree, I would have to say agree.
that it didn't spark the interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like as much as we said that we liked it, I mean, I think there was no denying the fact that like it just didn't get the buzz that people were hoping. Like honestly, as much as I loved the teaser, I think that little teaser would have been received more if we had already gotten a second trailer, or if there was like
1000%.
honest, we talked about this when it came out. If there was multiple of those sprinkled throughout the
Yes.
Super Bowl of
With
like
other products and stuff.
yeah, exactly. Of like this one's more of a Budweiser, this is more of a what, and it's all of those like different types of Super Bowl commercials, and it's like what like it keeps reoccurring. That I think would have worked, but I think would because they only had that one window, it probably should have been more of a movie trailer thing.
Yeah.
Not sometimes not everything is gonna hit right.
No.
And I think that because this is a different type of Star Wars movie, they were trying to do something different, and so they're like they didn't want it to feel like a solo deal where they kind of marketed it pretty plainly,
Yeah.
and it ended up not necessarily hitting for the first thing back.
Yeah.
I get it.
I completely understand. And I think as much as I enjoyed the Super Bowl spot, to 100% echo, if there was more of it, look, I think that commercial would have done really well in the age of television
Yes.
when there were constant ads being run all the time on places like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and literally anywhere, ABC Family, different networks. I think it would have worked really well in the age of television. But in the age where everything is you logging on to YouTube or Instagram or social media to watch everything after or before it's played on some sort of like streaming service or live broadcast, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really hit that way anymore. Like if that was the end credits to something, would have probably hit a little bit better. If that was played in theaters with the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer paired with it, where like you got that, and then 3 trailers later, you also got the official Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, I think that would have worked better. Something like where people are in movie theaters and what it reminds me of, honestly, of something that still works from the TV age is like before movies, how it's like, let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. And it's like the dancing popcorn and the dancing sodas and stuff like that. Stuff like that, I feel like works because it's a group of people sitting in a theater. And there are a ton of people sitting in theaters nationwide and different nights and different times across the country, I guess, if you want, where they're all kind of watching that same thing. It's like, oh, it's a fun thing, but you're still going to get other trailers.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I know I'm here for a movie, right?
Right.
If that was played something like that, or like you said, just throughout the ads of the Super Bowl with other stuff, or like if there was something where where was the Super Bowl played this year on NBC?
It was oh yeah in terms of like the distributing rights or whatever.
Yeah, if it was on NBC, or if it was like, let's say it was on ABC this year, right? If it was on ABC and they did like some where like NFL football or like NFL on Fox, they always have like that big transformer guy like run out and like catch a football and then do something. If it was like lower third graphics of Mando and Grogu like running more stuff like that, it would have hit more. It's just by itself in a vacuum where people are in the age of, hey, when's the Spider-Man trailer going to come out? Hey, when's the Doomsday trailer going to come out? Hey, when's the Mandalorian trailer going to come out? Hey, when's the Starfighter trailer going to like, people are fiending for trailers. Maybe not timed the best way. Now, do you think this would have been better for the Super Bowl if an official trailer had already come out? Like the official trailer that we got a week later.
Probably. I think so. Like I mean, I know that wouldn't have made as much sense either, because then people would have been like, wait, why didn't that play, sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think because it was like we got that first trailer in like October, and then we had gotten nothing since then.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, and then the next thing is just this 30-second ad. I think if we had gotten another trailer like a week before, and then we also got that would have been like, it would have reminded more people of like, hey, this is coming up pretty soon, because I mean this movie comes out in like just over 2 months.
Yeah,
So
dude.
um so
I
yeah,
also
I think it would have made it a little bit more easier to pill to swallow. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I agree. And I'm also like, I think too, look, Budweiser commercials during the Super Bowl are a big thing. And it's like, if you look at like the nostalgia of just sitting down and watching the Super Bowl on TV, that's something that comes up. There's like cleaning ads and stuff like that. But like, I almost kind of wish they did like a, uh, what's the beer that everybody was talking about last year or
Oh,
like 2 years ago?
Cerveza Cristal.
If it was like if they played into the meme of the Cerveza Cristal
Oh
thing,
my god,
where
dude.
like Mando, because we know that he goes to like an alien bar,
Sure,
and
yeah.
like Mando walks in and he's like, "Let me get a," and it's not a Cerveza Cristal, but it's like something that slides over, and like Grogu uses the Force to pull it away at the end, like. And make it more of a beer ad, but not necessarily like the Clydesdale beer ad.
Honestly, that reminds me a lot more of like the Burger King ads that you'd get for like
Right.
Transformers and Spider-Man 3
And even the
and
stuff
stuff
during
like
the
that.
prequels that Star Wars was doing, where it would be
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking was like, yeah, Darth Vader like in a Burger King,
yeah, 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 yeah.
where it's like, and like the stormtroopers, and it's like, that was like that whole. I mean, you can go look up those ads and stuff like that. I think they that's what they were trying to embrace. I think it was just too soon. Like I think honestly, like I like that little, because I think about Spider-Man: Homecoming. There's that like whole series of ads, where what do you call it? He was like going to like the big game, and it was like he's like has to get like the crackers to bring to the party
I don't
for
remember
like,
those at all.
dude, he meets DJ Khaled in them, and like
Peter Parker does?
yes, yeah, he's like, yo, you're Spider-Man, like, and then he goes to the party and he meets like Magic Johnson and all of them, like and he's like, oh, Mr. Stark's not here, and he's like, but like Happy needs him to go get the crackers for it. Or there's also the ad of where Peter is learning how to drive, and it was because they had the Audi collaboration, and he's like,
I remember that one.
and that they got JB Smoove, and then his character from that ad goes into Far From Home. Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh, yeah, kind of. Yeah,
It's the
kinda.
same. It's supposed to be his same character from that ad of learning how to drive. Of like, he's like the 10-2, 9-3 thing or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's So anyway, what's like, I think and again, in an age of TV, right, or like YouTube ads and stuff, but now like the what do you call it, with streaming and stuff, it's a little bit more different.
Yeah. Truthfully, yeah, I mean, honestly, when it comes to this trailer, didn't hit like they thought it would. I liked it just for like the pure nostalgia of like Star Wars trying to be funny, which I think a lot of the best Star Wars, at least in terms of marketing, is when Star Wars doesn't take itself too seriously. When it is paired with Star Wars also taking itself incredibly seriously in terms of their marketing. Like you get a cinematic episode 3 trailer that's played on TV all the time, but then also you get like posters of Darth Vader there where it says like, who's your daddy?
Right.
Where it's
Yeah.
like, that's insane, but it's still like marketing wise, it's paired between the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Disney execs worried Star Wars fans won't be satisfied. I don't know what the sources of it other than Variety itself posted the article. So could be from a leaker, could be from something else. I don't know.
I mean, it's obviously for like, it's not like it's any secret news. I think, as we said, we enjoyed the teaser or whatever, but in terms of like a commercial success, a lot of people really like to fixate on the whole like numbers thing. And I definitely get that because it's the first thing for Star Wars to come back in theaters. But then also a lot of people are like preying on its downfall because it's like, oh, I don't want this movie to succeed. And I'm like, okay, do we want Star Wars to succeed or do we not want Star Wars to succeed? I'm kind of confused. They're like, oh, I'm glad that this ad did bad. But then people are like, oh, I'm upset that this ad did bad. But I also still want it to fail. And there's people that are like, oh, I'm glad this ad did bad and I want it to fail. And I'm like, I don't... What? Like, it just doesn't really make sense to me. But the good thing is they have some time to pivot. Like, they've got, obviously, they're marketing stuff is planned almost a year in advance, right? But they do have time to kind of re-strategize, like, what they're going to be pushing out and how soon and how frequently. I imagine it's probably going to ramp up here in the next couple months,
yeah, I would assume. But patiently waiting for things to ramp up for the Mandalorian and Grogu, because I would hope that it does well. You want to talk about Star Wars Insider quick?
Yeah, dude, of course.
Okay. Okay, so issue 236 of Star Wars Insider released last week. Subscribers got their covers like pretty early. I'm still waiting for my subscriber cover to get into this location that I'm at right now, but this is the just on sale, like the newsstand copy.
Why does it have the Rogue One on it? Is it just because it's the 10 years?
Because of the 10 years, and then there's also like those Rogue One comics that are coming out as well.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a look back at Rogue One, a 10-year anniversary, whatever it is. But then also in this article, talking about Maul Shadow Lord, next week on Wednesday
is the new,
or this week on Wednesday. So in 2 days is the first issue of Shadow of Maul.
Oh, I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm getting that. Okay.
Yeah, Wednesday this week, Shadow of Maul. There it is. And the I was looking online. It's 3 variant covers or 4 variant covers, I guess. Because there's also the one of like Maul standing on like a blue background on like a hill. But the other variant covers are like crazy expensive. So like,
what do you mean? How much more expensive?
Like there's one cover where it's the it's like the art cover. It's this one where it's like Maul's face.
Yeah.
It's like without the Maul Shadow Lord, like the title logo. It's like $99 or something like that.
Oh, what? Okay.
It's like $100, but I don't know if that was just like an artist cover or whatever. How they do that for comics sometimes, where it'll be like a 1 in 1,000 or something like that, where it'll just be like a ridiculous price, but it's also like a collector's item. But new article with Sam Witwer himself came out for Master of Evil. Master of Evil. It says Master of Shadows.
It was
of Shadow Lord. And there's some points that he brought up in here. Obviously, the thumbnail is Maul in live action, but reason why it's that in this article, Sam Witwer talks about filming live action references for scenes in Shadow Lord, a la what he did for Force Unleashed. Like, where it's like not necessarily mocap, but they were like, oh, we really want to get for the animation what your face would look like and your eyes would do, and just facial expressions and body movement references for Maul in this series, which is very interesting.
Sam is a very animated person. Like, obviously he like you said, he comes from roots of the Force Unleashed, and obviously they're not putting the dots on his face, but the fact that, Maul is also a very expressive person, at least when it comes to his anger and frustration. And of course, you can see all those behind the scenes videos, even back with Clone Wars, of Sam in the booth, like, doing everything, right? Or even at Rebels, when he's like, I can see him in my mind's eye, like all of that stuff. He's like full, like you can see the veins in his neck and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think it's super cool. I'd be curious. Oh, we'd have to ask our. I'd have to ask. I want to ask someone about that. I don't want to say anything, but like, as someone, I've met a couple people in the animation team, that I'm like, that is a really cool thing. And that's just them pushing the bounds even further with the animation.
Yeah,
I feel like they're blurring the lines in a really cool way.
And like just stuff from the art style of like how there were paintings used and like it there were like glass paintings used as well,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly, which is
What?
insanely cool. But in this article as well, I'd have to find the blurb, but he talks about how, or Sam talks about how Maul is reeling with the kind of guilt of losing his brother Savage,
Oh, interesting. Okay, like is
which
like
like
wishing he was still here or something.
which like like kind of like in a way he was Savage's teacher, right? Like he was the master and Savage was kind of the apprentice. Even though I mean they were brothers and they were like kind of a tag team, but
Yeah.
I mean if you had to pick one guy to be like the master, it'd probably be the guy who was trained by Palpatine, right? Um, but he was reeling with the loss of, or he's going to be dealing with the loss of Savage, of like, I lost my brother. And then obviously we know that he's going to be upset about the lack of Jedi in the galaxy.
Oh, like in the sense like he can't kill him, or the
Like
fact that he's
exactly.
like,
Yeah, where like I know he's kind of alluded to it in interviews before, but like that he's upset that the galaxy isn't the way it used to be, of like he was kind of used to killing
mhm,
Jedi and like he was
yeah,
trained to kill Jedi, and now that he very much doesn't have that in his wheelhouse, of like he's kind of without purpose, I guess is a
yeah,
way to put it.
yeah.
So like I don't know, it's going to be a very guilty Maul in this show.
Interesting. I mean, I guess if you think about it, in terms of the sequence of events that we saw Maul in Clone Wars, Savage is killed, and then Maul kind of goes away, and that's when that whole Son of Dathomir comic takes place.
Yeah.
And we never got those episodes. Those we were going to get those episodes. It never happened. It got turned into the comic, and then
Right.
we see him in season 7, and we never really. I mean, at that point, he's already kind of doing some Crimson Dawn stuff, and like we don't really get.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he didn't get a like get a lot of time to what do you call it? Actually grieve or even process that. Like, because I mean, does he even know how to grieve? Like, that's the. I mean, it's
Maul?
this. Yeah,
I
I'm
mean
like,
his pseudo dad was Palpatine his whole life. So like I don't think so. Like
it's yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with I think like Star Killer, like with the lightsaber, like never being taught how to meditate, right?
yeah.
It's the same thing with Maul of like he doesn't really know what family is exactly like,
No.
So it's like I'm very intrigued in his psyche of that whole thing, I guess.
Yeah. Which is like another thing of like why he's upset about losing his brother, because he doesn't really understand family. Did we ever, I'm trying to remember in Clone Wars. I'm a, we never really got any like flashback type stuff with Maul and Savage.
No, I mean I read the short story in Myths and Fables that actually has a chapter about Maul and Savage, but they didn't.
Whoa.
But like, yeah, like it's pretty. Like it's when Maul gets picked by Palpatine. Like it's like the whole story of that. It's really cool. Um,
Whoa.
yeah, it's sick. Like Maul, like is like super close to Mother Talzin, and then gets like ripped away from her and like sold to this like fighter pit guy. And like Savage is in there a little bit. It's a really good short story. It's you
Does
can
that retcon the Plagueis stuff, I'm assuming?
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Where
yeah,
like it's baby Maul and it's just kind of like, here, take this baby.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he's
The
like, I
Plagueis
know what
stuff
I'll
is
do with this. I'll
right.
make him evil and an assassin.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit different. Like I can hold on. Let's see. I can at least show you the picture real quick. You get some sick art in here, but let's see if we can find the. Actually, the Maul chapter may not be in this version. It may only be in the Galaxy's Edge version,
Mm.
which is stupid and is $250 freaking dollars. But
Huh?
whatever, man. Yeah, dude, that version is so expensive because they only sold it at Galaxy's Edge. Wait, they may not have it. Hold on, I probably can pull up the picture though. On through the power of search engines. Yeah, let me do that real quick. Because that's actually sick.
Yeah.
Myths and Fables. Also done by the artwork is done by Grant Griffin, which is really cool. Maul story. I think it's called An Unwilling Apprentice. See if we can pull this up. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's such sick art. That honestly would be such a sick poster. Hold on, let me share my screen. I feel like I'm in a work group call right now. Can everybody see this? Can everybody see this?
I'm muted.
Oh my god. Holy ads, bro.
Oh my god.
It's this one right here. So it's got towels in it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a pretty popular piece of artwork, but
is that the same guy who did the art that you posted about last year around Christmas time?
It's all that same. Every single piece of artwork in that book is by him.
What's that dude's name?
Grant Griffin.
Yeah.
Right here. I don't know if you can see its stuff, but he also did stuff for High Republic. He did all the artwork for all of these 3 books right here, and then did the cover for a good chunk of the High Republic stuff as well. It's so good, dude. Like if he did like Old Republic stuff, oh my god. Oh, it'd be it's like it's so picturesque, like but in like the best way. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah. But yeah, so we get a little bit of that stuff. But I think oh, this is a good question, Macman. Do you think we'll get an adaptation of Son of Dathomir and Shadowlord? Like a flashback sort of deal with like kind of showing what happened? I could see there being like a one-off episode of him like kind of just to kind of show audiences a little bit of like how he knows Rook Cast and like the Mandalorian people and stuff.
I don't think it would have to start the same way that the Tales of the Underworld episode started, where like that's really the only like that mug is sick. What the heck?
Lightsaber mug?
No way. Where like at that beginning of that Tales of the Underworld episode where it's the Asajj and Quinlan Voss bringing her to the waters.
Yep.
And like where like I can't really think of another version of a flashback.
I could see him. It could like cut to the end of when Palpatine's like electrocuting him and after Savage is killed. Kind of like the opening of Kenobi, where like Obi-Wan wakes up after like seeing like Anakin in the pod racer and like the stuff that happens in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And it being like a Maul thing where like he's seeing visions of like Palpatine torturing him as a kid, right? And then Savage getting killed and like this stuff happening in season 7 and a little bit in between, and then him being like,
yeah.
And obviously he wouldn't wake up in this like gasping PTSD, but it would be kind of like him, like, because he doesn't process things that way because he is so evil and so hell-bent on the dark side. I don't know. I could definitely see them doing because Son of Dathomir is kind of a big story to kind of tell it within the middle of Shadowlord. But if you just like showed the key moments of him like hiring Crimson Dawn, or like I will say I would love if there's a moment in that comic where him and Dooku team up to fight Jedi, to fight Obi-Wan, and it's really good. They basically
now, is Dooku in non-Clone Wars but still Star Wars animation? Does he look like Clone Wars Dooku with the big pointy pelican beard, or does he look like?
I think they would hybridize him to kind of be like Tales of the Jedi and Clone Wars. So like his face would be a little bit more normal proportions, probably still the long white, probably still pointy beard with the hair being a little bit more. He wouldn't look like, like this, like
so angular.
Yeah, because I honestly like I do, as much as I love some of those early very harsh designs in Clone Wars, and when I say harsh, I mean like very, very rigid designs.
Yeah.
And obviously that was because they were kind of embracing his look from Gindy's, and there's that crossover there of how they look. But the Tales of the Jedi design and like those design I think are phenomenal.
Like those are so good.
Yeah. Yaddle,
honestly, that whole any of the Tales art is like peak, dude.
Dude, Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars armor, but he still has the mullet, like he hasn't cut the hair off yet. That's canon to me. That's canon. I love that.
He gets the armor before he gets the mullet, dude.
I mean, because technically, right in Gindy's, he still has the mullet pretty much until he becomes a Jedi Master. Because when he fights Dirge and stuff, he has the long mullet hair. Yeah.
I guess he's not a Jedi Master at that point when he's fighting Dirge.
Wait, no, maybe he is a Jedi Master at that point. Because he's a Jedi Knight, and then he becomes a Master pretty shortly after Attack of the Clones, right?
If your Padawan becomes a Jedi Knight while you are a Jedi Knight, do you automatically become a Master? Or are you
I don't think
Jedi
so.
Knight?
I don't think so.
Because I'm thinking of like Anakin going through like the process of like losing his Padawan braid in Gendy's. Does Obi-Wan have his short Episode 3 hair?
No, they don't. He doesn't in Gendy's. He doesn't get his short hair until Anakin has his long hair. Like they pretty much like both redesigned them. I don't think Anakin fully became a Jedi Knight until a little bit after Attack of the Clones, kind of how we see in Gendy's.
Yeah.
And then, but I think I want to say by that point Obi-Wan is a Master. Because Obi-Wan was he's a knight in Attack of the Clones, and then he becomes a knight by the end of Phantom Menace, and then he's what a good. What's the time difference between is it Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones? Is it what like 10 years? So I mean, he's a Jedi Knight for 10 years before he becomes a Master.
And
then Anakin becomes knighted like about a year after Attack of the Clones, or a little less.
Isn't it crazy? And this is like, for me as a kid, I was always this way of like, oh, Episode 2, Obi-Wan got long hair. Episode 3, Obi-Wan got short hair. Episode 3, Master Obi-Wan. Episode 2, Jedi Knight. And then like there's that weird gray area in between where it's Clone Wars, right? But he's a Master at that point. Like by the time of the 2008 Clone Wars movie, he's a Master.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like a weird,
because I think in Brotherhood, Obi-Wan is a Master, but I don't think Anakin is a knight yet. I think he gets knighted in that book.
Really?
I think so, and I think it's supposed to be a lot like the Attack of the Clones moment.
I got to read that book, dude. Everybody says
it's
so good.
People say it's great. I like it. It's on Cato Nemoidia. It's the whole Cato Nemoidia thing in Revenge of the Sith. Mike Chin also, I've read a little bit of his work, and he is a good author. I really enjoy his stuff.
He written?
He just did that new Low Red Moon book for Outlaws, and then he did some of the short stories and From a Certain Point of View.
Cool.
I think all three he did, or at the very least he did Empire and Jedi, if I'm not mistaken.
Sick.
But yeah. I thought Anakin was one of the Padawans knighted immediately after he's maybe. Well, that's what Let's see. Let's just look up when
was Anakin knighted?
When? Here, I'll look up Anakin. You look up Obi-Wan. Knighted as a Jedi. Anakin Skywalker's knighting ceremony in 22 BBY. What does this take place? The first appearance is in Brotherhood. Okay, yes.
What year was that?
22 BBY.
Okay, it says in 32 BBY, Kenobi attained the rank of Jedi Knight by defeating Sith Lord Darth Maul during the invasion of Naboo. That's canon for Wikipedia.
So what does it say about him becoming a Master?
With the advent of Clone Wars in 22 BBY, Kenobi adopted the military rank of High Jedi General in the Grand Army of the Galactic Republic and given command of the Open Circle Fleet. Okay. In 19 BBY, Kenobi killed the Separatist Supreme Marshal Commander General Grievous.
Okay.
But it doesn't tell me when he became a Jedi Master. It just immediately skipped from killing...
When does
Maul.
Obi-Wan become a Jedi Master? Shortly after the that's Obi-Wan Kenobi's tab. There is a Reddit one from r/Maw installation, which is like a sci-fi subreddit. He said he became a Jedi Master in 22 BBY as well. Skywalker became a knight in the novel Queen's Hope and Brotherhood. Between the time...
Did you see what Macman just put in the chat?
Wrong is 980Y.
Dude, that's wrong. It's 980Y.
Always has been. Let's see. All Jedi Council members are masters, but not all are masters. Yes, yeah. I understand how this works, Reddit. Thank you for explaining. Well,
thanks, Reddit.
Else. Let's see. I'm rewatching Clone Wars cartoon. It's been so far if vague if Obi-Wan is a master or knight. I'm trying to see where that it popped up for a second. He was made a master. Please tell me. So someone is saying that it does happen in 22 BBY. So I think they become knight and master like pretty much at the same time, like pretty shortly after Battle of Geonosis. Also, interesting thing about Anakin's knighting ceremony, and this is a book that apparently is incredible, and I've been dying to also read it, is Inquisitor Rise of the Red Blade, which takes place right after Attack of the Clones. That knighting ceremony is in that book, but it says, there's a quote from Mace Windu, "You are Jedi Knights, responsibility, peace, discipline. You are the examples the galaxy looks to." Yes, because Anakin is known for responsibility, peace, and discipline.
3 things to describe Anakin Skywalker.
If I'm thinking of 3 things to describe Anakin, it is not those things.
Yeah.
So it was a bunch of other. He got knighted along with a bunch of other Jedi that I've literally never heard of in my life. Olana Cheon, Kier Stinwit, Cyrus O'Kent, De Urban Winherd. When has he been heard?
De Urban Winherd?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, Star Wars.
Oh, I can't forget about Charlin Plaka.
Oh,
and Tualin Yaluna. What's
the Mount Rushmore of Padawans that were knighted after the Battle of Geonosis?
Nobody knows that Lugubrious Moat was actually hopping from shoulder to shoulder amidst their knighting ceremony.
You're crazy if you think De Urban Winherd is in the top 4 of Jedi Knights that were...
The Urban Winherd.
The Urban Winherd?
Dude, it's spelled D''urban, and then the last name is WEN''HURD.
Is there a photo of this guy?
No, they don't even. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the Urban Winherd.
It's just fan art.
The Urban Winherd is a Thalothian.
Whoa!
So I believe the same species as Adigalia. Correct. Yes. Okay. Wow, they have a sizable Wikipedia page for some reason.
Huh.
Or Google, like, wait. Oh, okay. So Mike Chin named her after another author named Wendy Hurd. And it's an Easter egg.
Wendy. Yeah. Okay. What the heck is De Urban?
Apparently, okay, here we go. The character was named after Chin's friends Diana Urban and Wendy Hurd. Chin stated that Winherd's spectacles were inspired by both women wearing glasses, and her short lightsabers for stabbing action were inspired by the, quote, stabby stab books the 2 authors wrote. Okay, so they must write...
All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
That's fun. Mike Chin is also referenced in Shadow of the Sith because him and Adam Christopher were working in those books simultaneously, working on Brotherhood and Shadow of the Sith. And so there is there's a ship in the book called the M-Chin, the EMCHEN.
That's cool.
Which is really fun. And I think Kristen Baver has one in there. I believe it's like the
oh yeah.
There's one for Kristen, and then there's one more for I want to say Chris Kimshaw. That did Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire as well. But anyway, I love that stuff. But yeah, Cameroni said Rise of Red Blade is awesome, and yeah, that's where I got the info that was knighted right for Geonosis. The character of that book was present in Anakin's group that was knighted. That's sick. That's fun. This is a random thing before we hop into some other stuff, maybe some of this Acolyte stuff, because I got it all uploaded, thankfully. I really wish we would get more material between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
We are severely lacking. Cameroni, I'm not pulling up that comment. Because I was listening to a really good channel. I don't know if I sent you this video, but there was man, I'm blanking on the channel name. Hopefully he forgives me. Fantastic content. Big Star Wars book guy. Has like every Star Wars book ever. And he did a video about which Star Wars Legends novels could still fit into the canon timeline. And he basically did
Mike Skywalker? Or not Mike Skywalker. What's his name? Houston Skywalker?
No. This is a guy, he's a YouTuber.
Oh, okay.
I'll find him real quick. Houston has a lot of those, but no, it is not him. Let's see.
Houston is really good, dude. I love his stuff.
He does just really good, concise reviews. Like he's very consistent. Let's see. Oh, not Utini. Where did it? I watched it just the other day. Where is it at? Let me find this. I want to give this guy his flowers real quick. Can I look at my history? Yes, I can. Okay, fantastic. It's his username is. Oh no, this is the playlist. YouTube channel. Oh, it's called Legends Lore. Okay, perfect. He's got 5.38k subs. If you look at his background, he is stacked with Star Wars hardcovers. But he did one that was Star Wars Legends books that fit perfectly into the canon timeline. So he's a big fan of Legends and canon. I don't know what
Star Wars lore.
It's his username is
Legends Lore.
Legends Lore, yeah. But it was a really good video. It was a lot of fun. Him talking about like you were talking about the whole Maul thing, and he was like he basically put them into tiers of like books that like are completely like not contradicted at all, books that have very like small things, and then books that are just kind of like maybe you have to bend a little bit, and then like that was kind of the 3 tiers of like how aggressively you'd have to like kind of mold them to fit.
This guy does a podcast.
Oh, really?
What the heck is this guy's podcast? I don't remember, but he has a podcast, and it's like, I wonder if I can find it on his page of like other stuff. Yeah, Star Wars Lads.
Oh yes, I know them.
Yeah. They've got like over 40k subs.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. I'll sub them right now. There you go.
Star Wars Lads.
It was Legends Lore from their most recent video was 3 days ago, defending Glove Shitos. It's actually a great thumbnail. It's like Ben Quaterneros, Porkins, Zeb, and Wilro Hood. That's awesome.
Insane.
Yeah. Shout out to them. They apparently do some very consistent good content over there. But yeah. So I thought that was a fun. It's cool because like they've got on their banner on there, they've got like High Republic stuff, Old Republic, animated books, like Tales of the Jedi, old comics, plate. Like it's all fun. Anyway.
Yeah.
Shall I bring up some of these Star Wars Acolyte art?
Well, do you want to do that first, or do you want to do Rank Ferric first?
Let's do this first because I don't think it'll take as long.
Cool.
And I think Rank Ferric could potentially take long. So
okay.
I'm going to share these. I don't have a ton of images, but I just decided the art of the Acolyte came out by Kristen Baber. She's phenomenal. She does a couple of the art books and specifically the High Republic stuff, but I managed to snag it, and I went through and I took pictures of things that I just thought were cool or interesting that I would want to share with everybody. And so it's not everything in the book, but the art direction for it is honestly one of my favorite art directions in the Star Wars shows. Like you go through and I'm like, this just exudes Star Wars. It's so good. Can you see all this?
Oh, dude, yeah. Okay,
so we're gonna start off with this. Master Soul as a Ronin. Whoa, this was going to be a concept design. See if we can. Yeah. See this?
Dang, dude.
And guess what? He has a second costume too. Look at this.
And he's got the blue robes.
Dude, I know, dude. This chest piece with like the ornate, like they're like double kind of Padawan braid thing going on. You know, look who it is. Brian Matias.
The GOAT.
Anyway, so that I thought this was a really cool design for Soul. I really like this. I was like, man, this would be really sick if they retained that. I love the hairstyle and everything.
I mean, I would have to assume most of the reason they didn't is because they wanted to make it High Republic, like everything else. High Republic, but like that's sick.
I would have loved if he'd like wore this at some point as like undercover, like not wearing Jedi robes or something. But
it's it looks a lot like May's outfit.
Later on, yeah. Which there's some costume designs in for her that are crazy. So anyway, so that's some of the soul stuff there. This is sideways, but this is stuff with like mech neck everything. So obviously it goes the other way, but it's one of the Naboo ships flying in, and the mech necks are working on it. Which I just thought, I was like, this is just so cool. I thought that was a really neat picture.
That's sick.
So this right here, you're probably like, what am I looking at? Originally, and I'll flip over to the next one as well. Originally, Brindok was not going to be this like desolate planet. It was going to be this like actual like utopia.
Whoa.
That was it was very inspired by a lot of different cultures, but and so it had like the witches had this like basically this society that's like with this like grand hall and everything, and they were like, we wanted to like
society.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so they wanted to like
6, 7. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. No, keep going. What were you saying? But seriously, keep going.
Guys, please be careful with your daily consumption of brain rot, or this will happen to you and your children. Anyway, so I thought that was cool. This is also sideways, but look at this freaking concept art of the Ronin version of Soul fighting the Sith.
Dude, and he's got like the curved like Dooku style
blade. Long curved with like the knight style helmet, bro.
It's like a samurai, like it's like Ahsoka's.
Yeah, it's very Marak is what it looks like. And if I'm not mistaken, this actually might be May right here, because we'll go to the next one.
Whoa, really?
Yes, it is. Concept of May in Sith armor. So that was Brian Midas as well, and this May was going to have a full like Sith get up with like a knight helmet and everything.
Yeah, that's like
and this. Sorry, it's like
a red guard.
Quick. Yeah, this was going to be the Sith Master, and he was going to have 2.
So that was like early concept for the Stranger.
Kinda, yeah, but they like didn't know what they exactly wanted to do with the Stranger, because this is 20. This was 2020 when this was made.
That's crazy.
So yeah, they were doing stuff early, and then I also have their sabers as well, or at least the Sith Lord's sabers, which I think these are sick. I love these, like the dual, like it's very like evil Ahsoka, which I like.
That's sick.
Especially the way it sits on his belt right here, like
yeah,
with, like the 2 points coming in. I'm like, oh, that's clean. So I really dug that. This is cool as well. There's a little article right here, but basically they put stickers on Pip. And this one I thought was really cool. So you've got this one. Obviously that's a Lothcat, but this one right here, 4 worn stickers can be seen on Pip's body, homages to elements of Star Wars history. Quote, designer Nick Tyrell was playing through the 1999 Star Wars episode Racer video game at the time. So one of the stickers is a bird's eye view of the Ando Prime track.
Whoa.
As Osha is a mechanic, Nick figured she would be a fan of pod racing, so they would decorate Pip with racing memorabilia. You get the Lothcat, and then a recreation of the emblem seen on Luke's helmet in A New Hope when he's training, which I believe is this one right here. And then a shape language. I guess this is supposed to be kind of like a Galaxy's Edge sort of thing. I have a toolbox that I've decorated in a similar way over the years. Every place I put a sticker on, so it's gotten worn and scratched. That is really what we're trying to get with Pip. So I just think that's really cool, especially the track thing. I love that.
That's sick.
And also I think they said we're inspired by retro gaming consoles for like the Sony Walkman as well. So it's like Tamagotchi, like it's keeping Pip. And I
really
was like,
cool.
Pip is such a cool. I love like the like actual like, oh, it's a tool droid. Like that's sick. I showed this as well. I know it's sideways because my phone hates me. But this was a concept for the Jedi Temple, which obviously didn't really work for continuity reasons, but it was going to be like fully excavated out and like had like basically like a park and like mountains and stuff down here. which I think is really cool because I can imagine like Jedi training down here. But I told you before the stream, this looks so much like the new Lucas Museum area. Like,
my thing is just like where would that have even been?
Dude, I don't
At
know
the
because
temple.
I mean, well, the idea is that all around this was city, but they didn't always have that. That they built over it. They built on top of it, like a couple hundred years later.
Yeah, but I just assumed that like the layers that were built on top of it were so much deeper into the closer to the core of the planet.
That's the thing is I think this would have all been artificial, but I think that was another
Okay.
reason why they didn't do it is because they were like, for like lore reasons, it wouldn't make sense to have this because the surface of Coruscant is so low down that like this wouldn't be natural. This would all be man-made stuff, right?
Do you think
So,
part of the reason, and I don't know, but part of the reason they didn't use this is because the temple would have already been shown in like High Republic stuff, which takes place
so
before this?
they were developing this as the High Republic stuff was like just barely releasing. So it wasn't necessarily a big oversight, but I think at that point they had already established that like the Jedi Temple had kind of been this way for a while, so they didn't want to like change it too much. So like I guess probably yeah, if they were making these designs in 2020, at that point, Light of the Jedi had already been out.
Huh.
Did they go to the Jedi Temple in Light of the Jedi though? They describe it at least.
How like entwined do you think the development of the Acolyte was with what was going on in the High Republic, especially because it was eventually moved so far later?
Yeah, so there's a little article or not article, but so Leslie Headland did a forward, and then Kristen Baber did a forward. And let me see if I can find it real quick. Actually, maybe it is in the Leslie Headland one. Okay. Our story was anchored by character from the twins May and Osha and their clan of Brandok witches to the conflicted Jedi and the mysterious stranger. Without established Star Wars iconography or characters to rely upon, this book outlines the development of a visual language connecting the Jedi of the High Republic books. Oh, sorry, hold on. I jumped ahead. It started when I pitched the idea to Lucasfilm's president Kathleen Kennedy in 2019. From the start, our mission statement was to eschew recycled iconography and realize a whole new era never before seen in live action or animation, High Republic. And then it says somewhere here, I'm trying to figure out where it was at. Pretty early on. They're basically talking about how they were like really early on with the High Republic stuff. And they were trying to kind of keep it consistent, but also kind of fresher. So I think the idea was always that it was going to be at the end of the High Republic.
Huh.
So I think they had a little bit more breathing room, but like as you'll see as we go on, they definitely get a little closer to like what is described and shown in the High Republic, especially like the comics and everything.
Okay.
So yeah. Now this is what I wanted to show you, dude. Yord Fandar was gonna be a Duros.
That's Yord?
Bro, look at this guy. This was gonna sorry, it's like when I get closer. Yeah. It says early concept of Yord Fandar as a Duros. And they also had him as a Weequay on the next one. But this one, also, this saber is sick, dude. These robes are sick. The like kind of like embroidered robes. Like, this is awesome.
Look, I know people are big fans of or what are they called? The Yord Horde?
Yeah, Yord Horde.
But dude, a live action Duros would have been. Dang it, dude.
Dude, I also think I would have been like, I would have kind of enjoyed. I mean, I don't straight up hate Yord. I kind of get the way he is, but he's definitely not my favorite character. But I feel like I would have latched onto him a little bit more if he was a little bit older and he was a Duros that was like very rigid, you know?
Do you think any of the reason why they did not do the live action Duros was because of Cad Bane in Book of Boba Fett? Where like,
maybe,
and I don't mean like him showing up in Book of Boba Fett. I mean just like the technical preparation it would have taken to like set that up as much as it was for how much Yord was in that show.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. It's like he had to be more of a background character. There's no way they could have had this like main character with all these speaking roles. And so I think if you'd done this in animation, it would have been super easy to do.
Yeah.
Or even like a video game thing. Like there's like Shriv from Battlefront 2 is like a pretty expressive
Right.
character, and he looks a lot like this. But I mean, it would have been really sick though to have like an alien character like
Like
this.
they did it with Cad Bane in Book of Boba Fett, but like outside of that, what the only other live action Duros we see are in the Cantina, right?
Pretty much. If you
They're like
see
crazy looking, dude. They're like
if
Kingdom of
you
the Crystal Skull.
yeah, and if you see them anywhere else, it's like in the background of the prequels. It's like nothing. They're not moving their mouths or anything.
Yeah.
I still think like I mean, especially this looks pretty consistent with like what we see in Book of Boba Fett, other than like his head being a little bit smaller, but like it doesn't really. This would have been cool. I would have liked this. This was also an early concept for Torben, which I think is really cool. Like, dude, the arrow on the head, bro, like Aang.
Yeah, shout out to Aang, dude.
Yeah. It's really sick. I mean, he's got his lightsaber there, but he's like floating with the book and the crystal. I love this design of robes, dude.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they went more with this because I'm like, I love this, like these like weird, like asymmetrical with like the runes and stuff on them. Like, that's sick. They had another one of Torben where he just like he's just bald with like a full. He's like basically just like a sensei.
It looks more like Ahsoka's like
Rebels
piece. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is crazy, dude. This was one of the early concepts for Chimere.
The glasses are bonkers.
Look at this guy, bro.
That's crazy.
It's all too much.
I love that I mean, I'm assuming they had already thought of Manny by that point. So like,
yeah, this is fully Manny. All these actors are pretty
on at that point, or if that was just like post after.
Bro, check out this Kelnaka design.
Bathrobe Kelnaka.
Dude, I just think this looks like the brown.
The brown is so cool.
With the like the beads hanging off and everything, dude.
Really cool.
I really dig that. Also, this saber looks way better than the one that they used. What?
Yeah.
There's my arm. Let's see. This I thought was sick, dude. I want this as like an older Chimere so bad. This is awesome. Look at this is.
Yeah, he's way more like tech Sith, like Vadered out.
Yeah, a little bit, and I'm like, and I still think the helmet would work for this, but like the man bun with like the strand, dude. Like, dude, also like look at Kelnaka just iced out right here.
Crazy.
But this is really like him, dude. Some aura right with the cape. This is the Chimere that I want to see fight like a young Palpatine,
Right.
Like just make his hair a little whiter and like in like a more roby type. Oh my gosh, dude. This as well right here. This is him. There's naked Chimere. We got him with like the full like again. This is just fully Manny right here. But he's got like the gray streaks in his hair. I'm like, come on, man, let's reuse this. Let's get this ball rolling.
I dig the blue Jedi robes,
dude. Yeah, no, like he's got like the off-colored blue, yellow. Very cool. Of course, there's a Plagueis thing in here, but I wanted to reference the article as well, because of course this is just kind of we've seen this for a while.
Yeah.
But they're talking about Plagueis. Leslie had a very specific need. Oh, this is sorry about the broken helmet. A Sith in the shadows. Before we designed anything, I knew I wanted to do what they did with Gollum and Fellowship of the Ring, where you get a sense of this character and the size of his eyes and his coloring. You didn't want to do something in full on daylight when you see his hand move, blah 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 blah. We looked at a lot of references of Moon characters from the prequels, the Clone Wars, and some game art. Leslie didn't want to give too much away. We just want to see the flash of the character. The casual viewer might not even notice him or know it's Darth Plagueis. So it wasn't so much about designing the character, but designing the shots around that direction. Really, you just see a couple of long fingers and a little shaft of light hits his face. It's just enough to tell he isn't human.
Huh.
I want season 2. Anyway. This is cool because I guess they at some point this is like an annoying flash. Hold on, I did a better picture here, kind of. But like actually like they like were going to Dathomir at one point.
What?
Yeah, which is sick. Like it's cool. This is really cool. I love stuff like this. This was supposed to be like the robes that they wore during the Ascension, or at least like Anastasia was gonna wear,
Dog,
which just
that looks like OG Darth Bane.
It does kind of with the purple and the gold. Yeah, dude.
That
But I
looks
think
like way close to OG Darth Bane, especially
Mhm.
like even like the stuff coming out of its head.
yeah, the like kind of points there and stuff, and the
Yeah.
ribs. Yeah, it's cool. I thought this was. I love when like Star Wars gets a little creepy, and obviously
Yeah.
this is kind of the show to do it. And I'm like, I think this would have also helped sell the like Jedi think that they're bad sort of thing of like the stigma
Right.
of like, oh, they're witches, they're wearing all these, but it's like I really like this.
Right.
And of course, it even being the same colors as not Osha, May's robes later on.
Right.
It's
really
and then
cool.
okay, this is what I was laughing at, bro. Who is this?
Dog, that's Starkiller.
That's just me? Sam Witwer, bro. They just took his model from Force Unleashed and put him in a Jedi robe and called it a day.
That's Starkiller, dude.
I know. He's got the widow's peak and everything.
That's Galen Merrick. Dog, that is like 1000% Galen Merrick.
I know. I saw this is like after the battle, but I was like, this is the only part that matters. They were just like, yeah, we need a Jedi. Sam Witwer will do.
You know who could do it? Sam Witwer. Yeah. That's crazy.
I know. It's so funny.
Also, so funny being that this episode was like live action Sam Witwer. And
yeah,
Maul,
I know.
It's just like that's hilarious.
I feel like a Batman like looking at like in Arkham Knight when he's like looking at the playback footage and I'm like, Alfred, give me a visual on this face or something. Sam Witwer. Oh my god. God. This is the last one, dude. This is just like straight up them kissing. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's like it is like full on romantic at this point. Also, the drip is going crazy with the man bun and like the black robes. Like,
yeah, it's sick.
It's sick. Okay, I don't want to add a comment to it. Hold on. Actually, hold on.
Yes. Gross, dude.
But yeah, that was the pictures that really like stood out to me that I thought were really cool. The book has a lot more stuff with like landscapes and everything. But I really loved some of this stuff in here that I just thought
cool.
Was super unique. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some rank Ferric.
You heard it here first. Sam Witwer was supposed to be in the Acolyte.
Honestly, would have been sick.
Would have been sick.
I'll take him in anything at this point.
What are we doing?
Rank Ferric?
Think Ferric. You know, for this rank Ferric, I was like, what if I just learn a completely different language and yell for it? And I was like, Guten Tag, I'm Sabadoik. I should like do the whole thing in German. No, hey, what's up? Welcome back to Rank Ferric. Everybody's favorite ranking stuff and clips. And don't call me Uncle Owen because I'm not farming moisture. I'm farming clips. I have one that was on the post for this episode. However, you also had one, and I don't know what yours is for your rank.
Well, this is not necessarily this is. I'd like to say this to the end. I think this would be a good transition topic into the comic book episode.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Hannah,
I
got Spider-Man. Look at my Spider-Man.
And Brian's here. What's up, dude? Really cool profile picture. Do you see his profile picture? Really cool, dude. That's sick.
That's really sick. Yeah, so I want to save mine towards the end. Because it is a hybridization of some Marvel Star Wars stuff that I thought was very cool. I thought would be pretty cool.
Okay.
So
let's
start
rank
with yours.
Ferric that I had planned was one that I was trying to remember if we had talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we did like top ranking lists and like top fives and stuff like that, but I don't think we ever did a Mount Rushmore for Jedi.
If we have, I'm down to redo it. I'm down to because maybe our thoughts have changed.
But that's also what I'm saying is like if we did, and people in the comments can tell us like if they remember that, which if you do, that's insane. But it's been at least so long if we did it that I don't even remember what I would have said.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole conversation. So I figured we could do it.
Yeah. So the 4 Jedi that are on that Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, this is the Mount Rushmore of Jedi.
Is there one that is like a non-negotiable to you? Because I have like 2 or 3. I have a couple that are in mind, but one that I feel like has to go on here.
I think I I think the only non-negotiable would have to be Luke Skywalker.
Interesting. I mean, I don't disagree. For me, I think the non-negotiable has to be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I also those are my two like definitive have to be on the list.
Yeah, I think mainly because Luke Skywalker is like the main Jedi of like was the main Jedi of the saga for so long, and Obi-Wan is the very first Jedi you ever see. I mean, he is the grandfather into the larger world for not just Luke, but for the audience as a whole, and getting that context. And then Luke is us, right?
Yeah.
At least, you know, early on. So I am completely on board with both Obi-Wan and Luke being on there.
Right. I was trying to think of this as like when I was going through this earlier of like eras, and like Obi-Wan could be prequels, but also he's the OT for being the first ever Jedi, trains Luke. He's a Jedi before Luke Skywalker is even thinking of being a Jedi.
Exactly.
He's the whole reason Luke even knows like that he could potentially be a Jedi. And then obviously like he's one of the only ones to become a Force ghost and stuff like that. Like if you're looking at the lore implications as well as like the iconicity of the character, Obi-Wan absolutely. And then Luke on there because he's kind of, I know Obi-Wan is technically the first Jedi, but it's really Luke Skywalker. I feel like for like, obviously he's the main character of the original trilogy. We see him pop up in the sequels. Like so much of the sequels is about where is Luke. And I mean, obviously the Last Jedi, that's what it's about. And the Force Awakens, the whole thing is like Luke Skywalker's gone. Like so much of the saga is about getting to the point of Luke Skywalker and then what happens after Luke Skywalker and then as well as like just lore implications. And then the iconicity of like, if somebody was to go up and be like, name a Jedi, a lot of people, I think a majority of people would say Luke Skywalker outside of like a Ben Kenobi or an Anakin. Right.
Right. Exactly. Pause that thought. Bryant, feel free to send us. Feel free. Hey, you know what? We'll skip the eBay listing if you want. No eBay fees. No eBay fees. Hit us up. Let us know.
Bryant, you're the best, dude. Dude, Bryant is such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. I was in California over the weekend for a wedding, and I was going around. I didn't fly into LAX. I flew into John Wayne because we were driving to Palm Springs for the wedding. But Bryant is always like posting about bumping into celebrities at LAX and like being in the same like the TSA line with celebrities, and he's like, always keep a pen and paper on you, always keep it like in case you want autographs or stuff like that. And the people he bumps into are crazy. But like I was in John Wayne, I was like, do I need to like pull a Bryant right now? And like, what if I bump into? And I was like kind of keeping my eyes peeled because you know you're in California, close to LA, you never know. But like I would assume a majority of that would be in LAX.
It's crazy. I flew out of LAX like a sizable amount of times in 1 month, and I didn't even think about that. And I don't think I ever ran into anybody. I mean, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I was so tired, bro.
Oh yeah.
So back to the conversation. Obi-Wan and Luke.
Yes.
Completely agree. There's like 2 right now that are weighing heavy on my mind, and I'm kind of curious if they make the cut or not. And the first one that I want to address is Yoda.
Yeah. Yoda is one of the ones that like is kind of getting is like juggling with this list. He's one of those names that for me was getting tossed around.
So I lean more heavy towards Obi-Wan because again, he is the first Jedi we know about. We don't even know about Yoda until later on. And so I'm like, in one way, it's like because Obi-Wan is killed, you kind of have to have a new Jedi Master with Yoda. Now, Yoda is considered like kind of the greatest Jedi of all time in the sense of like most like famous and most honorable and wisest and all of this stuff,
Yeah.
right? Of course, some of the greatest lessons in all of Star Wars come from Yoda. But is it a thing of when you think about a Mount Rushmore and you think about there's that variety there, and like you said, time periods and eras and stuff. When you think about Luke, Obi-Wan, and Yoda, Obi-Wan and Yoda, kind of more prequel and OT. Luke is more OT, but I'm like, they're all kind of in that same bubble, you know. And I don't want to just throw on a character in this list for the sake of just like, oh, they're from a different era, you know. Like at the end of the day, I don't think there's a Jedi from a different era that beats out a lot of these characters. But is it? I mean, when you're likening it to like a Mount Rushmore, it's like, okay, and Obi-Wan is like a George Washington, right? Like a, you know, and then like a Luke is like a Luke is probably like a Lincoln or something, right? You know, like something like that, right? But does Yoda make the list? Does he? Because I really only have two other ones that I think should go up there beyond Yoda, and that one of them has to be cut.
Who are your other two?
The other ones that I'm leaning to are obviously Ahsoka and Rey. Because, and we talk about this all the time, it comes down to their feats, to iconicity, to their impact, to their legacy, to, you know, all of that, like everything, right? It's the whole 9 yards, right? Like, and I know Macman, I mean, I'm a Kanan fan. I truly just don't think Kanan beats any of these others. Even Rey.
Yeah.
Rey is kind of like is the Luke for a new generation. But for Ahsoka,
just before we talk about Rey and Ahsoka, I think I would feel bad if Yoda, like later on after we talked about this, I think I would regret not putting Yoda on the list.
I agree. And that's my thing. And that's where I'm just kind of like, I didn't feel comfortable cutting Yoda because I'm like, if you cut Yoda, you are therefore being like, okay, so every like banger quote that he said of do or do not, there is no try, or greatest teacher to failure is, all of that stuff is just not putting him on the list. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I think Yoda has to be. He has to be that third head there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I think Yoda goes on. So as of right now, it's Luke, Obi-Wan, and Yoda.
Now my dilemma with Ahsoka and Rey is it's a very 50-50 split for me, where I think Ahsoka has so much of a greater story. And like we've always said, by the end of her story, she might have the best singular character story in all of Star Wars, if not top 3 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But with Rey is so front facing, right? The fact that, again, she is a new Luke generation for Luke Skywalker. She is also someone who represents rejecting what you're born into and making something more of yourself, right? Because Luke is so much about embracing no, I am a Skywalker. I am my father. Where Rey is so much of, I am not what I am not what I was born as, or I was not what I was raised to be, right? I am also I am much like I am like my masters, right? And takes that mantle and defeats Palpatine, and she's the one that brings Ben back, right? Like, I mean, I know it's partly Leia and everything, but like Rey is such an embodiment of not just continuing Luke, but also a little bit of Leia and a little bit of Han and a little bit of Ben. And she's kind of that like culmination. And whether you hate her or not, you can't deny that, right?
Right.
But with Ahsoka is such a complex and wide arcing character that like it's almost it's so even for different reasons, right?
Right.
And it makes it hard for me. It makes it hard. And again, you can obviously people like Ahsoka a whole lot more, but when you think about kind of the significance of how much, I guess, impact they have. I personally think Rey has a little bit more, mainly because she's in the movies.
Ray has the marketing standpoint, I think, on lock, at least as of right now on March 2nd, 2026.
Like in my, because that, and I completely agree. I'm like, I obviously girls around the world completely. I mean, and not just girls. Everybody look up to Ahsoka, but I really, and I will die on this hill that when I see a little girl dressed up as Rey, I'm like, that means something. That was me as Luke Skywalker, right? That was me as Anakin. That was whatever, right? And it's like Ahsoka can be that, but I don't think she is as much of that as Rey is, even if you don't like Rey, you know. But I think Ahsoka has a better story. I think she's a better character. I think she's more complex. I like Ahsoka much more than Rey, even though I like Rey a lot, more than a lot of people. And it's also tough because so much of Rey and Ahsoka's story is untold. Yoda's story pretty much done. Luke's pretty much done, other than like in the middle stuff. But like we have a beginning and we have an end to Luke, right? Obi-Wan, we have a beginning and to an end. With Ahsoka and Rey, that end is not there yet.
Yeah.
Which makes them very comparable in that way, you know?
Yeah.
This is a beautiful comment from Coco Crisp right here. My 6-year-old niece walked in on me watching Force Awakens, and we watched every sequel over the next few days, almost afraid to show her the others because she loves Rey so much.
That's funny. Dude, that's so cool.
Like, just the fact that I'm like, a little girl can look at Rey and be like, I love that, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, but I do think there's also, like, Rey was obviously more pushed marketing-wise, like,
absolutely,
to the grander obvious, because of, like, Rey was the face of Star Wars returning since 2005.
Yeah.
But there was still Star Wars in between, and I think just as much outside of it being a new character was like when Clone Wars Season 7 came back, dude, everybody was like, it's Ahsoka time, baby. And even with Rebels, too, when Rebels was happening, when Ahsoka was going on, obviously this was more at like places like Star Wars Celebration, and Star Wars didn't really have its giant boom that it did post Last Jedi, right? Obviously Force Awakens was really big, but I would say Last Jedi was really, really when it hit of like, hey, Star Wars is like very much in the public eye, just like an MCU is. At least for the modern age, not necessarily from like the prequels, but like Force Awakens, everybody was back on, Star Wars is back, and everybody was like, okay, everybody primarily enjoyed Force Awakens, and then The Last Jedi came out, and everybody was like, what is the next one going to be? Because everybody was like, oh, A New Hope was great, but what's the Empire going to be? Because everybody looks at the second of a trilogy and goes, well, especially for Star Wars, and go, okay, well, the second one is Empire Strikes Back. What would be the comparison to Empire? But when Ahsoka, every time Ahsoka comes back in anything, it explodes, dude. And like to the point where people, there are always those fans who are like, oh, I don't watch animation. And I would say that they're a lot less nowadays. But there are always those people who are like, oh, I don't watch animation. I only watch live action. Animation is for kids. But like live action Ahsoka is in the parks, which I don't know, dude.
I think the big argument is Ahsoka, I think, is so much more iconic and profound within the Star Wars community, whereas Rey is so much more iconic and profound beyond just the inner workings of the Star Wars community. Like I feel like Rey is more like general audience, whereas Ahsoka is like within the Star Wars bubble. Ahsoka is way higher than Rey, you know?
Yeah. Hannah says, yeah, I remember being so pleasantly surprised with how widely loved Ahsoka became very quickly because I grew up with people hating on her or not knowing who she was. Yeah, and look, there's that clip of Ashley Eckstein talking about like how hated Ahsoka was initially,
sure,
which is ridiculous. I can remember going to the store, and I told the story before of like not knowing there was a Clone Wars anything coming out yet, and
Mhm.
being a kid and going to Walmart and seeing the action figures for the Clone Wars movie of like it was like Rex, Anakin, Obi-Wan. I think there was a Dooku and there was an Ahsoka, and I was like, well, who is that?
Yeah.
And then going to see the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And I'm a
Yeah.
kid, so I'm like, I'm not
How
thinking
old were you when
anything.
that movie came out? Like like
What, that was
11?
2008?
Yeah.
I was,
You're 3 years older than me, right? 3 or 4?
yeah,
Yeah, so you're what? You're 29 right now?
yeah,
So you would have to be what, like 11?
yeah. I was probably like 11.
Yeah.
So I remember going to the store and like seeing those and being like, "Oh, new Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's sick."
I remember just being like, "Oh, Clone Wars movie. This is oh, whoa, Anakin has a Padawan." And I remember my dad just ended up being wrong about this, but I it still thought was so cool where he was like, "Oh yeah, Anakin has a Padawan. Vader kills her later on." And I was like, "What? I want to know
Yeah,
about that."
dude.
And
I
then
would
that
love to go back to the time of Ahsoka theories, dude.
Yeah, yeah, and then but there was never a point. I mean, again, I was like 8 or 9, so
Yeah.
but I was like, I mean, I was still I mean, Ahsoka wasn't my favorite, but I remember being like, yeah, Ahsoka's cool. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
like
also
Anakin,
went
I
to
like
like
an
a,
Obi-Wan better, but
yeah, I went to a very small school and like a very small middle school and elementary school. So like I was really one of the only ones who was like if there was like a Breakfast Club stereotype of like
mhm,
each kid in my class, I was 100% like the nerdy Star Wars like comic book kid.
yeah,
And I would say I
same.
was probably the only one. Like I had friends who were into it like at home, like I had my best friends growing up who were on my street and stuff, but like there wasn't really like outside of them, there wasn't really like
Did
people I was
you
going to school with where I was like,
when Force Unleashed came out? Did you have like any friends that like played or you could talk with about it, like on that level? Really?
Yeah, but they were like my close friends who I would like refer to as family now because they like
Okay,
literally grew up like two houses next to us. And it was we were just hanging out about like, and talking about Star Wars and action figures and everything.
okay. Sorry, I'm laughing at this. Hannah said my dad said the same thing.
That's
Literally
so
watched every Clone
funny.
Wars. That's what. So your dad was just straight. I think my dad actually believed it. I thought he was like, "Oh, I got that wrong."
I
But I
know
was
I
just
did
remembering.
see the Clone Wars movie in theaters, but I couldn't tell you about the experience. I
I
don't
remember
remember it at
watching it
all.
with my dad and my cousins, and I remember being like, and then I remember
Yeah,
seeing that
dude.
watching Cartoon Network because we had just got cable, and then like a teaser came on for the show, and my dad and I went, "There's more."
The Cartoon Network era was like after that where I was like, "Whoa, is this the movie again?" And then that's where I was like, "All right, we're locked in."
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I remember I was there. I was there every Friday night, bro. Because I remember like I could stay up a little bit later on Fridays, even when I was like in middle school, or like
Yeah.
because I guess it started when I was in elementary school, and I remember being like, I remember watching the Rookies episode live,
Yeah, dude.
like with like Heavy and like I was
Yep.
there, you
Yeah.
know. Oh, I remember watching
There, man.
Layer of Grievous when it happened too.
Yeah, dude.
I
Kid
remember
Fish,
being like,
bro.
this is sick. Anyway, it's just I have an
I
extension.
I I
Once we
think
nail
I
down
would have
this
to
last
go
one,
Ahsoka. I think I would have to go Ahsoka.
I think I'd have a hard time not going with Ahsoka. And I think depending on again how this next one goes, whenever we get more Ray content, I'm saying when, not if, because I want it and it's going to happen, and Daisy Ridley wants it to happen, and it needs to
Yeah.
happen. And I would be shocked if someone like Dave doesn't want more Ray stuff too, especially with the way he talks about her and everything.
Yeah.
But I do think Ahsoka is kind of this like timeless character.
Yeah.
Now my question is, if we are locking down Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, Yoda, Ahsoka Tano in the Mount Rushmore, if there were 4 more heads to that Mount Rushmore, we got an expansion. Who are the other 4? And I'm assuming we're gonna put Rey on there.
Yeah, probably Ray.
And I do have 2 others, and I don't know what the last one is, but I'm curious if you would agree or disagree. Actually, I do think I have the next 3.
I'm gonna throw one that you might disagree with. Mace Windu.
Don't disagree. That was on mine too.
Okay.
Yep. you want to know my other two? One I'm a little bit biased on, and I think one could dip, but he probably should go. But my other two picks for the last, so for 7 and 8 was Cal Kestis and Kanan Jarrus.
Oh, I was thinking of Qui-Gon too.
See, the only one is I think is that would potentially would one of them would have to get bumped out. I do think if you have 8 heads, I do think Anakin has to be on there, mainly because of the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, yeah.
But Qui-Gon is
I would probably say Anakin.
But did you say
Cal?
That's what I was saying. But then I'm like, but is it Anakin Qui-Gon and not Kanan Cal? But I'm like, but to not have Kanan? I don't know. Like that's Kanan Qui-Gon is another like Rey Ahsoka thing for me. Where I'm like,
I think the other 4, Rey, Kanan, Anakin,
Mace.
Is it crazy to have Mace Windu over Qui-Gon though?
I feel like for me, Mace, Cal, and Qui-Gon are all 3 there for different reasons. Like,
maybe it's Mace. It's probably Mace.
Mace is a big deal, and I know we dog on Mace a lot. I don't actually hate Mace Windu. I think he's a very compelling character. Like, I actually do enjoy reading about him and stuff.
The joke of not liking Mace Windu is just because he was mean to Ahsoka once.
Right? Yeah, yeah, and he's just kind of a Matthew Stover did such a great job articulating how, like, really contextualized for like how Mace works as a character, and the fact that like if Luke Skywalker cares about the individual person, Mace is so like big, widespread, like defending the Republic, right? And it makes so much more sense when you view it that way. But
right,
I mean, also just in the sense of like representation, like I'm the biggest person for representation, and that is because when I was younger, as a white dude with brown hair and glasses, I was very easily represented. Why do you think I like Spider-Man so much? I was like, oh, Peter Parker looks like me, right? So I can relate to him. I like science and I like all of these things. Mace Windu, I mean, they were like, George Lucas was like, oh, let's get basically the second most powerful Jedi in the galaxy to be a black man, and he's also played by Samuel L. Jackson. Like, especially for the longest period of time, the only significant black character in Star Wars was Lando Calrissian, and I love Lando. Lando's in my top 10, but to have a black Jedi who also has a purple lightsaber, I'm like, that's my thing. Is I'm always like with Rey and Ahsoka, I'm like huge representation for female characters, for women, right? And I'm like, and that was my. Now, if they had done something different with Finn, I'd say get Mace out of here, get Finn in, but because I like Finn a lot more, but I mean, Mace is a big deal, you know?
I also think, too, in terms of, like, Jedi, a lot of their iconicity has to do with their lightsaber. Yeah. And there's literally only one character most people think of when it comes to a purple lightsaber.
Purple, yeah.
Like, when you think of a lightsaber color, you can think of 100 who have red, 100 who have blue, 100 who have green. And obviously there are those like characters who you think of initially when you think of blue and green and red. But like if you say purple, everybody says Mace Windu.
Yeah, it stands out in the crowd.
Nobody says Vernestra Rose whip lightsaber.
Nobody,
as much as it's interesting, but like
the only one that like would, but it's again not even close to Mace would be like a Revan or something. But like that's for like deep Star Wars lore. But like there's that image that it's one of my favorite images of like all of the Jedi on the steps of the Jedi Temple, and they're all from different eras. But it's like when you of the 8 that we just listed them are expanded Mount Rushmore. We're at an R to the that's the expanded of like
the more
is with Luke having to like. You can see like all of the colors of the sabers being out. Like they had them all out of like Luke green, Obi-Wan blue, Yoda green, Ahsoka white, Rey yellow, Mace purple, Kanan blue. What was the last one that we had? Was that all of them? Who am I blanking on? Who did we say? Oh, and Anakin. Like which Anakin you could kind of. I mean, I guess whatever. Of like the ones with the different color lightsabers, specifically Rey, Ahsoka, and Mace, like stand out because it's like, oh yeah. Like, because
white, yellow, purple,
like they're like that like, makes them all immediately stand out. Because in my opinion, that's dude. This is an interesting question. It's also, I think, a good clip farming moment. Is Who is the face of each color of lightsaber? Who is the face of a blue lightsaber?
That's crazy because then you're thinking of different eras.
Right.
Blue is probably the toughest to pin down.
Because there's so many people.
Red, I think you'd be hard pressed not to say Vader.
Vader.
And then in terms of like iconicity, you're gonna just start listing Sith, where it's like it's just people who are like the whataboutisms of like, okay, who you think of purple? Mace Windu, but what about Revan? Revan has purple. Vanessa Rowe also has a purple, and it's just like people are just
But
trying
it's
to
Mace,
list
bro.
It's absolutely Mace Windu for purple lightsaber.
Obviously,
like,
it's Ahsoka for white. There's to me, Rey is yellow, but the toughest
Yeah.
one for me is like it's. I mean, I think the face of green lightsaber is Luke.
Absolutely. That I would say that the only one second to Luke for green lightsaber, I would say, is like probably Yoda. But that's also because he is green.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Is just like green guy, green lightsaber. You know, for the blue lightsaber thing, that's my thing as well. Where I think it's the inverse of Luke. Where I'm like, I think it's Obi-Wan, but also Luke right underneath it. Weirdly, not Anakin.
A lot of people would say Luke just because that was his first lightsaber, and then you think of Empire Strikes Back, and absolutely. But then you are going to have people who are going to say Anakin for blue. But then it's like Anakin falls too far in the category of like red and blue, but I guess Anakin never really uses a red lightsaber outside of when he kills Dooku. So,
and for me, I'm like, I don't think for Anakin, it's that like literally, I feel like I think of like his face of like one half being blue, one half being red. But I'm like, when I think
Obi-Wan, I'm like, let's go. Yellow, I think Temple Guard. See, but those are all like ones where like us Star Wars nerds are like the whataboutisms of like, well, what about this and what about this, and all of those are great as well. But
it honestly, if we're thinking about people like an actual person with the face, the only person that rivals Rey, in my opinion, is Bastila. And that's because Bastila and Rey are so similar in terms of their physique and their like the way they look and everything. But Bastila's legends.
Would you say Cal for yellow though?
See, Cal is different because it's just what. See, and because my Cal, I rock blue. I'm a blue, but there's a lot of people that are like, "Oh, Cal's an orange lightsaber." I'm like, because he has what? Orange hair?
What? Green? Yoda has a green lightsaber because he's green.
That's like saying Mace Windu should have the dark saber, bro. Like,
yeah, that's like crazy.
No, stop.
Yeah, you're wild.
Asajj is a kind of a good take for yellow, but again, I think she's barely had it, sort of thing. But like, I'd put her in that top 3 of yellow, you know?
Yeah, maybe with the I like Temple Guard too. I do. But we just barely see Rey use the yellow.
That's the thing. But for me, it's so based. Hannah Cyan is goated. I also use purple as well, but Cyan. By the way, the manga for Fallen Order comes out like within the next couple weeks, which is sick.
Whoa!
I'm gonna pick that up just because I just want to see the artwork in that. It looks sick.
The artwork can be sick. Okay.
So did we?
I think blue is probably Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
blue is probably Obi-Wan, especially because here's my thing of why blue is Obi-Wan. No matter the lightsaber hilt, Obi-Wan has blue.
Just always blue.
Anakin, Luke, and Rey are all using the same blue lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably the person who uses blue and is an individual with it. So I'd probably say Obi-Wan for blue.
It's also weird that like when I think about Rey, I don't even think about blue. I don't know why. Like I don't like it's so weird because she uses a blue throughout the like almost all of the movies.
Literally the entirety of the trilogy.
But in my head, I'm like, oh, yellow. And maybe that's the same thing with like Luke for me, where I'm like, because it's like his own, that I'm like, oh, this is now the same thing with Ahsoka with white. Like I don't think green or blue for Ahsoka. I think white
but
because she made
Luke
those.
Does defeat both Vader and Palpatine with the green saber. So like,
yeah.
And then in the sequels, it's like that's the green lightsaber. You know what I mean? And like
one shot we see him have it.
And just like the moment of like Luke getting the green lightsaber and turning it on for the first time is like that solidifies Luke as like, yeah, he's green.
Dude, I wish low key Rey got that moment in Rise of Skywalker. I think that should have
Where
happened.
she got a lightsaber toss.
Yeah, like to her to have like it first turn on and it's like the and she got to use it for the entirety of the movie, sort of deal.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
I
Okay. So I
I
would say
completely
blue,
agree, Hannah. By the way, completely agree.
always yellow. Shout out to Connor from Beyond the Dune Sea. He loves yellow lightsabers. I would say white Ahsoka, purple Mace Windu, blue Obi-Wan, red Vader, green Luke Skywalker. Am I missing any colors?
I mean, who's the face of the dark saber? I guess that's the only other one really, because we haven't really seen orange. So
Look, now it gets into iconicity because like when I would say when the general population thinks of the dark saber, they're going to think Mando.
interesting. What do you think? Because I think my brain is more Maul.
I agree with Maul, but I think dude, I would say 7 out of 10 people just general population know what the dark saber is because of the Mandalorian and him swinging it around,
Yeah.
not because of Maul having it.
Right. Yeah. I
And like,
guess. Yeah.
yeah, Maul with the dark saber. I would say that's my favorite character to use the dark saber. But if I was like iconicity, like you had to poll a bunch of people and you showed them the dark saber, like I just think of us doing trivia at conventions and we're like, do you know who has this lightsaber? It's like, oh, that's the dark saber from the
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
It's weird. Like obviously there's a ton of people that use it, but in my brain, I'm like, it's either Maul, Mando, or Bo Katan.
Those are my three. I would say
Yeah.
probably if I had to list like in terms of like the gen pop, it would be Mando, Bo, Maul.
What about Gideon? Because he used it for a good amount of time.
Yeah, but I think more people would list Maul
Oh,
there.
that's
Than
true
Moff
because like we did the trivia with Retney that one time, and he didn't even think about
Dude,
Moff Gideon.
Gideon's the one everybody always forgets.
Yeah, which is like crazy because he like has it for a full 2 seasons of that show.
And it's also crazy. Like I know it's a Mandalore like relic and a piece of Mandalore history, but like and an artifact or whatever you want to call it. But like it's crazy that all of these are Jedi, and then one of them is like almost Mando
Yeah,
for
yeah.
lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
Or like all of these are Force users, and then
Yeah.
one of them is just like, oh yeah,
Like
and also Mando.
Yeah, which is kind of sick.
It's sick.
I listen, as much as I do kind of like the whole like getting rid of the dark saber as like a MacGuffin for the I didn't think about that one. But see now in my brain I'm like Sabina's green. Like that's just where my brain goes.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do kind of miss it. Like it is like the visual of him having the dark saber was really sick. Like I do kind of miss when I wish he got good with it, man. Like
It would have been really cool if he got good with it, or if Bo got good with it.
Bo was good with it.
Bo is good with it, but I mean, like in live action, where we see her like consistently use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was using because she like diced up that one thing that that kidnapped him in season 3, and she was just like nothing, right?
And then gave it back to him, like, yeah, this is yours.
Yeah, she's like, don't even worry about it.
I didn't win in combat.
Hannah said
you did.
Hannah said this is a great take actually. Sig for orange.
I love that.
The fact that it's like all normal people and then just a Lego guy.
And what his name has purple. Isn't the bad guy in
Oh, Solitus.
Yeah, Solitus. Isn't his purple?
Yeah, he has the purple nunchucks.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So Rey yellow, Obi-Wan Kenobi blue, Luke for green, Vader for red, Mace Windu for purple, Ahsoka for white, Balin and Shin for whatever that weird orange red color is.
Oh yeah, I guess that's the other one. Yeah. I just completely forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it remains to be seen on the other characters. But yeah. There's our rank fair thing. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you the question for our comic book episode, and what we'll do is we will continue to talk about it in the next episode.
Whoa. Okay.
So we'll tee up the question here. Okay. This is playing off of a question that someone asked the Escape Pod podcast about a specific Marvel character going to the Fortress Inquisitorius. We have talked about this before. I thought about this the other day. Frank Castle is given the super soldier serum, just like Steve Rogers. Okay.
Oh my God.
He has no guns. Okay. Nothing. He is completely stripped other than just a normal suit. Okay. He is very similarly launched into space like Hulk was, right? He is he's sent out into space and he is in the Star Wars galaxy now. Okay. A Imperial Star Destroyer captures him. All right. They find his escape pod, his jettisoned pod, and pull him in. My question is, how far does Frank Castle make it trying to get to the command bridge of the Star Destroyer?
What time period is this in Star Wars?
This is Imperial era.
So
right?
These are stormtroopers.
Yeah, stormtroopers, and basically the goal. And I mean, granted, I would be love to hear maybe what Frank would do what else. But let's say he finds out that this he's Frank Castle. He's going to do what he wants. But once he finds out that the Empire is not good people, he's going to be like, whatever. His goal is to get to the command bridge. He's fully in a prison cell at this point. To get to the command bridge and take out the captain of the Star Destroyer, the Admiral, whatever. How far do you think he makes it?
And tune in to next episode for Determined Focus, or talk about Frank Castle on a Star Destroyer.
Your focus determines reality. We'll see you in the comic episode.
Oh, wow. That's it. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Always remember.